Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or middle of the night, whenever you're here. You are at Wildsunne Art Studio, and my name is Robinsunne. And today we are talking about my latest journal, which is a challenge from Julie and Cara, and I will leave all of their information below. This is a dscjjc, dollar store challenge, Christmas junk journal challenge. This is on Facebook, and I'll leave that below too, although they do have some YouTube videos out. But Julie, I know for sure, has put out a whole bunch of videos. She's sort of talking everybody through some of the decisions she's making in creating her journal. I did not do that. I just got really excited and I went out and bought the stuff and then came home and made it. I had this picture in my head of white paper cuts on craft paper. And when I got to the dollar store, I thought I was going to find a big roll of craft paper for $1. Our rules were that we got some basic things for free, like scissors and glue and rulers and cutters and things. And then we had to go choose 15 items at the dollar store. So basically spend $15 on stuff for this journal. And the picture I had was white paper cuts on craft paper, which I just thought would be really pretty, and it really is. I like it so much. But I thought I was going to find like big tubes of, wrapping paper for mailing stuff. Actually, they don't do that so much anymore. I think they like just the plain cardboard box, this being an era of really bizarre thinking terrorists. Anyway, stop that. So I didn't find that. I did find some Christmas paper that was craft on the back, but it's actually rather thin. And can you see it's got these little polka dot stars, which is very pretty. It's just I didn't want that underneath the paper cut, so I just turned it over. So one of my items for $1 was a roll of wrapping paper that happens to be made out of craft paper. One was a collection of construction paper, and I say this with fondness, and actually it worked out in my favor. Construction paper at a dollar store, if you buy a bunch of paper for $1, it's probably not going to be the very best quality, and it wasn't, but that made it very easy for me to fold and do paper cuts with. So that was actually great. And I bought a page of diamonds, rubies. So that was fun. And the basic structure of my book is using 9x12 mailing envelopes. So what I did was I cut the pages and I left a pocket. And as I was creating, I thought, oh, I know what the pockets are for. The pockets are for Christmas cards that I get this year. And now I have a place to put them in all my, let's move this properly. So I have all these different pockets to put Christmas cards from all kinds of people. Actually, I don't get that many, but I love all the ones that I get. And I also did make 2 envelopes. So there's one. I don't know what I was thinking, like little paper ornaments that I got, or receipts, or anything I felt that I needed to save. but that might be sort of tiny, and I would want to sort of collect them all the tiny things in one place. And there's a little tag. When I folded up the bottom of the envelope, I left a flap so that I could put a little tag. Put that back in there. And then let's start at the beginning. So this is the first page. This paper, I knew I was going to cut little snowflakes. And this paper is a little tiny cup for mini cupcakes. But it has really, see how close I can get. You see? Here. Let's do it this way. So there are all the little patterns, and they're very sort of snowflakey looking. So that fit my intentions perfectly. One of my items, and I only ended up using 12 items, although I'm looking at some sparkle glue stuff, you know, and I was thinking it might be fun to put some sparkles or some, yeah, so I might do that. So one of my items was rubies, one of my items was craft paper and envelopes, and I bought 4 different ribbons. And I used them all. One is this white ribbon. One is this red ribbon. One is this red ribbon that has, this one has snowflakes on it. And this one has golden trees. And then I made these tags out of index cards, which is great. So I'll have a place to journal. And as I was putting this together, I remembered, by the way, one of my items is a pen, so I wrote legally. As I was making the book, I knew that I wanted quotes or inspirational words, or I wanted to do some writing. And I wasn't, this would be typewritten if my computer cost $1, but it didn't, so I couldn't use that. So I had to hand write these, which was fine with me. But I did use my computer to look up all the words, the many, many verses of Christmas carols that maybe you, like me, had to learn when we were in choir as a kid. So I was raised Christian, and I don't know, I'm sure there are many, many benefits to being raised in a faith. Actually, yeah, there are probably benefits in not being raised in a faith. In any of the faiths, Christian and any one of the gazillion others. All of that is fine. I think it gives us roots. Anyway, there are some things about Christianity, in all honesty, it's a little violent for my taste. And I've had a hard time keeping to my Christian faith. The love part of Christianity makes a ton of sense to me, but the violence is truly violent. And yeah, anyway, I will shut up about that. But there's a lot about Christmas that's simply a part of the culture that I grew up in and the culture I'm still a part of. And some of the kinder, gentler, more love-oriented parts of Christianity are in the words of Christmas carols. And so instead of like putting the entire verse of a Christmas carol in, I just pulled out some words that really spoke to me from the Christmas carols. Perhaps you recognize Why This Jubilee from Hark the Herald. And The Stars in the Heaven is the stars in the heaven, away in the manger. But I thought, what if I took this dark time of year when we're full of, well, if you would live in the northern hemisphere, this dark time of year, and if you live in the southern hemisphere, why this jubilee would be kind of fantastic, because y'all are coming up on your summer solstice. And I know here in the north we get very fond of our summer solstice. So whatever time of year, wherever you are on the planet, why this jubilee? And I thought it'd be a good exercise for me in this time of year when we get to, never mind the Christmas parties and all the celebrating, in those, for us northerners, though, that's this sleepy time of year, where it feels great to snuggle up with a blanket in front of whatever device is warm in your life, and to think on what makes my jubilee, what is lovely and feels like celebration in my life. So anyway, there's my card to answer that question. And stars in the heaven. I'm reminded of the paper doll that I made for a journal a couple of weeks ago. And there is a man named Rattan, a paper doll named Rattan. And his gift to me was that he listens to the stars. So I was thinking, if I listened to the stars, what would I hear? So I thought, you know what I could do for you? Why don't I type these all out in the description below? And if you want to use them with your family, you could go get some index cards, or, you could go to the dollar store and type them out and give a little folder of them to friends. And you could go have tea or coffee and write together. Anyway, this is actually writing down philosophical answers to questions is my idea of a jubilee. I will have to write that down. Okay, long explanation. Here is page 2. I did a green square cut, paper cut, and then I did a pale green concentric cut. So I think this is it's a 4-fold and then a third. 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-fold, and this is a 2-fold. And then there's plenty of room for journaling. And over here on page 3, we have some lovely rubies. And I took my black pen and did some doodling inside the paper cut. This is a fan fold paper cut, and so is the one on this page, another fan fold paper cut. And this is the 3rd ribbon that I got. I really like this ribbon. There's wire in there. Did some more doodling here, and there's plenty of space for journaling and plenty of space for Christmas cards. And here we have 2 singles paper cuts, and we have another one of the muffin cups, cupcake cups, and a pocket. These pockets, by the way, were made of the extra that I pulled off of here. Sorry. There, so I cut some off, and then I decided to turn these into pockets. I cut off a little bit of the back and then folded that around, and that made a perfect pocket. This question is, do you see what I see? This is such a good question. We don't all see each other's stories. And now that I'm here on YouTube, I'm watching the people who are very, very successful on YouTube, and they tell their stories. Maybe not blatantly or obviously, and maybe not all the gory details, but people tell their stories here You kind of know if people are married or if they have children or if they've got, or if they're not married or if they're in relationships or what part of the country they live in, and you know some of the stuff behind their lives and even some of the things that challenge us. So I've been thinking in the last couple of days about looking to see what I see and how do I see that and what parts can I share with you that might be helpful for you? What parts can I share that would be helpful for me? We'll see. Merry Measure. What's that from? Fa la la? I think. Do you see what I see is Little Drummer Boy. Anyway, I was wondering, what's my measurement of Mary? What measurement of Mary have I received? We will see about that once I fill out these cards. Here is another concentric cut with some doodling and a ruby and the pocket. The envelope within the pocket. How's that for huge? The construction paper that I had was 9x9 as well as the pocket. So I had to cut down the brown craft paper and then cut down the white paper to sort of frame in like that. I like how these turned out. That was kind of intriguing. I like this little echo right there for the point of the heart. I like this. Okay. A song. This is actually a double card. What's this from? A song. Drummer Boy, yeah. And check this out. I like how I did this. I really like how it turned out, this ornament. So this is the bottom of the muffin cup. And then I cut the sides in bits and kind of glued them down in alternating ways to almost look like folds of cloth. Kind of cool how that turned out. Oh, and I put rubies on the ribbon. That was smart. I like that. Another fan fold. And these cards don't have ribbons. Gasp. He could laugh. What's that from? Here Comes Santa Claus or something like that. But I thought about all the places any of us could laugh. So I was thinking about that. With us sing. Who do you want? Who do I want to sing with me? Listen to what I say. This again is Drummer Boy. With us sing. Can't remember. I'll say oh yes when I remember where that's from. Maybe you remember. You can write in the comments and remind me. Listen to what I say. Little Drummer Boy. That was my mom's favorite song. Christmas Carol. Well, again, this is like the stories we tell. Listen to what I say. If I had to sort of come up with a phrase or a concept or a theory or a philosophy that I was known for, what would that be? This is going to be a really fun card to fill out. And when I know, I will tell you. I have another one of these pockets covered with this ribbon. Another concentric fold here and a fan fold there. There we can get most of it in. More doodles, more rubies. Behold throughout. Boy, I really can't remember where that was from. But that's okay. Throughout the day, throughout the night, behold what comes to us from divine source. Oh, Oh, if pure. I liked this little tiny phrase out of a lyric. I think they were talking about Mary. Again, can't remember the song. I was thinking about writing these down, on the back so that I would know. Anyway, what's pure in my life? Like in a really sweet way? Okay, my kids come to mind. But more than my kids. So I'll work on that. With true love. Oh, what I was thinking when I wrote this down was, what do I do that's with true love? Like my acts of true love. So I didn't tell you this, but this is the construction of these tags. They are index cards, 4x6 index cards that I cut. And then I only put the ribbon through the front so you can open. I can open. Next, go tell it. Go tell it on the mountain. I remember that one. What would I tell? What do I need to say out loud in a big voice? Mother Mary. There's this book that is written by China Galland. It's called Tara and the Black Madonna. Boy, pulled that out of. Anyway, there are all these black Madonnas all over the world. There are a couple in France. In that book, she talks about the case that the Black Madonna was Sarah, who is the daughter of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. There is a maybe Christian tradition, maybe not Christian tradition, that if there was a historical Jesus and a historical Mary, if they were actual regular human beings, that they were the prince and princess of two of the leading families. House of Benjamin, I believe, is Mary's family, and House of David is, and the 12 houses are the 12 tribes, the 12 brothers of, what is his name? I want to say it begins with L. Oops, my biblical history is falling down. Anyway, Abraham's 12 sons? Where did I get L? Anyway, they're 12 sons. One of them is David and one of them is Benjamin. And if you go through the begats long enough down the line, you end up at Jesus and Mary. And because they were both the sort of the oldest kids in their families, in direct descent line, that they were supposed to be married, and they did indeed marry, and they had a child, a daughter, and Mary Magdalene was pregnant when Jesus was killed, so goes the story. And she made it to the south of France, and there are shrines to the Black Madonna. We finally get back to that story. In the south of France. Marseille? I think it's in or around Marseille. And anyway, so there's an actual line of descent in Europe of the offspring of Sarah, who is the offspring of Mary and Jesus. It's a really cool story, and I like it so much. Dan Brown writes this story a lot, but lots of other people have too. Red Tent? No, that's too early. Somebody else wrote a really awesome story about the life of Mary, mother of Jesus. Yeah, no, that name's long gone, but there are stories all around. They're fascinating. It's a wonderful way to get a clue of how humans lived during that time. Anyway, long story. Mother Mary is fascinating to me, and I should go write about that. And the whole world send back the song. If the whole world, if I said something and the world sent back a song. What would that song be about? That's what this card is. And then go tell it. Go tell my story. Say that thing out loud. I'll have to figure out what part that is. Here is another layered. These look so cool. I so have impressed myself. Isn't that amazing? So these are not snowflake folds, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are snowflake folds. These are 6-point folds. So you take a piece of paper like this, and you fold it in half. You find where the center point is by just doing a little pinch fold right there. Let's not get us sick. And you fold it. If I was going to fold it in half, it would go to there, right? But I want to fold a little bit more than that, kind of like that, so that this part becomes thirds. Wow, good fold, Robinsunne. And then you fold the front to the front, the way we do that, and the back to the back. And then you can see that there are all kinds of different levels, heights of paper. So I just cut off all the extra there so that I have something. And then for a lot of these, I cut down quite a bit. I didn't know I was gonna, oops, confetti. I didn't know I was going to do this for you today, but I really had fun yesterday filling these all out. Sorry, I'm trying to get a grip on the paper. It's wiggling around a lot. So this is true about the, oh dear, about these paper cuts. They're, if you look at the opposites, this one is pretty thick and this one is much thinner. This one, mandorla, is pretty thick and this is a bunch thinner. So they're not perfect. That's okay. Because this was a challenge. And not that I didn't want it to be beautiful, but if I was doing this challenge, I would have, you know, like not as a challenge, but how do I make this incredibly pretty? I would have used probably origami paper, and that doesn't cost $1. So I would have overspent and not been a part of the challenge. So yes, let's see. Can you see that this top little triangle shape is very differently shaped than the bottom one? Oops. But that's because I'm cutting craft paper, not origami paper. So it's a little bit harder to see. Is there a way you can see this? Yes. I have paper. Oops. There we go. So I tried to fold that back, but I don't think I got there perfectly. Anyway, that's what I did. And you see that if I turned that over and you could see all the red polka dots, that would be confusing to our eyes. No, I get my pump. No, I like these. Very pretty. And so this is just layered, 2 snowflakes, one on top of each other. More cupcake paper. All right, let's move on. Let every heart. What would I like every heart to do? How much happiness could we as a culture stand? How much fun is this? Is anything? With truth and grace. I was thinking about living my life. Is there some way to live it with the most amount of truth and grace? This is a big writing page. Hear the angels sing. Oh my gosh, what if we could hear the angels sing? What would we hear? What would I hear? I will rejoiced much. This was in like, I don't know, Hark the Herald or Silent Night or something, but it was like in the verses we never sing very much. Yeah. So think about rejoicing much. I will do that. I seek both night and day. You know, I'm a big seeker. I seek a lot of things. I seek to understand the groovy parts of my life and the somewhat challenging parts of my life. So here is a pretty snowflake that's in white against the brown, and you can see it really well, and it's just what I wanted. But I have to say that this red on top of the light green, really, they're both two folds, square cut, with the ruby in the middle. And I think this one worked out really well too. Here, let's do it like this so you can see the whole thing. Here is a concentric. This is 6 points. And this is a fan fold, which I just think is really pretty. It turned out so well. I love the little floofies coming out of the hearts. And the rubies, of course. Tidings of comfort. What do I want to hear? What tidings of comfort can I tell myself so that even on the crazy days, I can feel good? Each other now embrace. This might be a list of people I send mental hugs to. One of whom is indeed my favorite girl, who is now having exams at her college. Many blessings to her. So, and her roommate, who we have decided is our family. So, many blessings to both of them. So here are 3, white and green and red. They are all concentric folds, and they are 6 folds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You, within this place, this is like, okay, if I'm in this place here, now, this is, yes, let's all be like Eckhart Tolle, and be in this place right now. Best case scenario, what's going on in my heart? That's what I want to write. To save us all. Is there anything I can do? This is what I want to write about. Is there anything I can do which would help save? I mean, it's not like we're on the Titanic here just because we live on the coast of Maine. But if there's something I could do that would help save or make more comfortable or give people cool ideas to think about, what would I do? What could I do? So I can make a list. And I've got lots of space to make a list. And peace on earth. So this is our last page. And look, this one broke. This paper cut broke. So I thought, oh, I'll put it right here. Kind of wrap it around where the cards go. And my last thought to you is, may you find, check this out, may you find peace on earth this holiday season. To Julie and Cara, thank you very much for the challenge. It was really fun. I've made a book that I like a whole lot. I hope this gives the people who are watching Lots of cool ideas, especially about snowflakes. If you want to know more about snowflakes, by the way, check further back in my history. I have a bunch of different videos about how to cut really successful paper cuts, and I'm happy to share. And much peace on earth to all of you. Thanks. Bye.